Hello from Los Angeles, and welcome to another episode of Mondays with Mindy. I am joined, as always, by my co host and co producer, Christian Brescia.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back.
Today, we're going to have a conversation with Jina Panebianco. Jina Panebianco is a producer and was born and raised in New Jersey, moved to LA in 1999 with a dream and a passion for telling stories that would move the masses, whether by laughter, mostly, or extreme thought-provoking, heartfelt tales. She raised $500,000 for her first feature in 2004 and has not stopped since.
Wow.
Yeah. Her producing credits include feature films and TV movies. First with her partner, Tosca Musk, they mastered the romantic film genre. And that's where we first met when she cast me in their production of A Cinderella Christmas. Mm-hmm. In 2016, she co-founded Passion Flix, a streaming service, which turns romance novels into movies with Tosca and their other partner, Joni Kane. As president and COO, she produced all movies and series until her exit in 2018. She felt compelled, gratefully, to get back to her roots of storytelling in the form of more elaborate romantic comedies and the thought-provoking stories I talked about before in the form of just to reach a broader audience, shall we say.
Of course.
Yes. Again, I was fortunate enough to be hired for a little part in one of those productions. Gratefully, Jeana has always kept me in mind when she's casting. In fact, it was during the production that she first offered me the role of Priscilla in a feature based on the nonfiction book Pornology. A Nice Girl Like You. Self-promotion, Christian. Finally, A Nice Girl Like You, starring Lucy Hale and Jackie Cruz and yours truly. Shot in New York and New Jersey, was made at the end of 2018. And it's finally coming out gratefully on July 17th on all demand platforms. You'll hear more about that.
Yay.
Kids. Yay, I know. In 2019, Jeana formed Callywood Pictures with her longtime friend and business partner, Wesley Shirk, and investors Michael Reiser and John Straley. A Nice Girl Like You is their actual first production under the new company. They're also in production on their second feature, a psychological thriller inspired by actual events, tentatively entitled Shriver, starring Michael Shannon, Don Johnson, and Kate Hudson.
Wow.
And unfortunately, COVID-19 shut them down with 8 days left of shooting.
Oh, wow.
So they're going to go back. Oh, I know. It was like a harpoon in the heart for Jeana.
Seriously.
Yeah. So they're going to go back to production sometime in August here in Los Angeles and finish that up. Jeana resides in Marina del Rey and New Jersey with her beautiful son, Jack, and adorable pup, Harry Bear. So I hope you're ready to gab with the highly energetic mogul that is Jina Panebianco.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure to welcome to the show Miss Jina Panebianco.
Hi, G.
Welcome.
Hi, Christian. So great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Love and adore you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, ditto, please. I've already sung your praises. So we're going to start this episode the way we always do. Out of our fabulous Jonathan Adler Secrets jar, I'm going to pull some questions.
I love that jar.
I know. So do I. And we'll just go from here. Really getting
get to know you session.
A little bit. Oh, okay. This is hilarious. If an actor were to play you in a movie, who would you want it to be?
Bette Midler. I don't even have to think about it.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I don't even have to think about it. She's like my sister.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
And the reason it's so easy for me to say that is
I love that. Yeah.
I've always loved her. I've been following her from her years of her cabarets, everything she's been. She's just awesome. And I love that she can do serious, but she can be funny, and she doesn't take herself too seriously.
Amen.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's you in a nutshell.
Phew, that's pretty much me.
We're starting off good, kiddo.
All right, I'll take it.
What's your favorite place to travel and why?
Okay, so my favorite place to travel when I get there, and it will be Italy. That's the favorite.
And who are you taking Thank
yeah.
you. Who are you taking on that trip?
We're going
Miss
on that trip.
Panebianco.
We're
Thank
going
you.
to eat and drink and flirt our way through the entire country. That's what we're going to do. And then really any place that takes me to the water, and it can be super close. I love going up to Santa Barbara, Monterey, anywhere. I haven't been to Carmel. It's like my place to go that I haven't been. We've
Beautiful.
talked about this, but
Well, we'll be going.
yeah. And so I would just say I'm at peace when I'm by the water, if not on a vineyard.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Speaking my language.
Clearly,
Yeah.
I'm already having the wine you'll be having later.
Cheers. Oh, how did where you grew up and who you were raised by develop your creative aesthetic? Or did it?
Oh, okay.
Did it, first of all?
Well, yes, very much so. So I grew up in New Jersey. For those of you who can't hear from the accent that I have, some of you might have thought I was French. But so
Where about in New Jersey?
Bergen County, Paramus, Westwood. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
I am. I have cousins in like Tom's River area. My family goes to see
South Jersey.
Yep.
Yeah, so you know the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's a very interesting thing. It definitely shaped me because, first of all, New Jersey is filled with a lot of characters, and I grew up in a predominantly Italian family, so everybody was very animated. But I would say the most significant thing was when my parents got divorced and moving in with my father and my stepmother, because my stepmother was a nightmare, and she's dead now, so I can talk about her. But she, but in such a good way, because she was one of those people where when she was good, she was great, and when she was bad, she was bad. And so I learned from an early age that if I needed to get what I wanted, I had to find a way to work around her, right? And she was the hardest critic. So if I needed, I don't care, a pair of boots or whatever it was, I'd have to say, I have to approach Lola like this. No, it's not working. Let me try behind. So I think that really gave me the ability to not take everything to heart or too seriously, but also know that what I needed was a serious thing.
But you've also just told our listeners basically how I would define how you work and produce. I mean, you are, and your reputation is, I feel you're finally getting the reputation you've deserved for the last decade, which is that you not only make things happen in every aspect. Most producers are, well, I'll say some producers are name only, or some producers are finance only, or some producers, for those of you who don't really know what a producer does, there's like 5 different versions of a producer. Jeana is all 5, which is why finally she is getting not only the recognition, but the projects that she wants to do getting off the ground.
Yeah.
Because you're able to raise money, find locations, cast, budget, problem solve on set, problem solve post production in the way that you just described. And people like you afterwards. And like me, want to work with you. I crave to have
that says a lot.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, no secret, Christian. Mindy is one of my favorite people, and all I think about sometimes at night is why Mindy should be doing this. We got to be doing this, and it'll 100%. When you were talking to, I'm drawing
Jill, Isaac.
Isaac. I was like,
Isaac.
His names are. When you were talking to Isaac, his interview was so great, and he was talking about a show, and he said to you, "Well, let's do it." I thought I need to be part of that. I'm going to get that show.
Oh my gosh, light bulb, holy! Because you don't even know. I think people think they know Isaac, but like to know him as an actor, we've done certain things together. Not professionally, he's kind of a genius.
I didn't know he was an actor.
He's auditioned for things. The things he's not gotten, you would be like, how did he not get cast? So anyway, point being that just that relationship with Lola alone, not only the other things and aspects, but I can now see how you work with divas, how you are able to make difficult people putty in your hand, how you're able to walk away after problem solving, even if it gets heated, and walk away with dignity and grace. Anyway, this is not like, I'm not Christian, I'm not trying to she's already employed me. Okay. So it's not that, but that really explains to people,
Yeah.
G, your skill set.
Yeah.
Among other things. But yeah.
Because it's not very common out here to have in the entertainment business
Anywhere.
in general. I would say it's not super common to have a producer that is that well skilled, in my experience.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Someone said that to me the other day, that, she just said, gosh, she said, I don't know a lot of producers like you that actually do all these things, because most people come in at 10 and they have their coffee and they're gone before this show,
Well, I love visiting you on the production I mentioned in the intro that got shut down due to COVID that you're going to go back to. I loved visiting you on the set and listening to people who'd never worked with you before. And it's like, and we're never going to work with anybody else again. It's like, yeah,
that's so sweet.
It was lovely to hear. Because
thank you. We had so much fun that day.
We did. Question number 3. I say it like the owl, the Tootsie Roll owl.
Yes.
3.
How many licks? Yes.
Another time. Another time we'll get into that
conversation.
Yeah.
As we all have microphones in front of our mouths.
I was just going to say, Christian will be able to contribute to that as well. What assumption do people make about you that's wrong?
I'll tell you the thing that I say to people sometimes if a situation goes not well. And I always say to them, please don't mistake my kindness for weakness.
Right.
Because I can be kind and I'll do everything I can and bend over backwards, but don't piss me the off, because then it's, so it's like I'm going to be kind and I'm going to do everything I can, but doesn't mean I'm weak. I actually am well aware of everything.
Right.
Yeah. I would say.
Yeah. No, and I do have to say, I was privy to a couple of those times, and I just thought, boy, I've never seen anyone handle someone so gracefully. So that was kind of fabulous.
Thank you.
Not to take a break in the action, but Christian, your screen is green to me.
I noticed that too.
We've lost your picture.
Green? Let me try dropping out and coming back on.
You're now rejoining. Hold on. Nope. You're black.
That's no fun.
This is the first. Geez, sorry about this.
Well, I'll keep working on this. You guys keep going, because I can see both of you perfectly, and all 3 lights are up. So we'll just keep moving.
Okay. So you are, just to know, you're black screened on me. Okay. So I'm going to go. Next question.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of want to say the answer to this, but do you have a hidden talent?
Do I have a hidden talent? Most people wouldn't know. Well, I did stand-up comedy in New York City for quite a long time, and I loved it. I mean, there's nothing more that I love than making people laugh. It's, as you know, Min, like, if anyone knows me closely, I'll go the extra step to make the joke.
I love that.
And I mean, when I was young, my dream was, I wanted to be an actress. I was going to sing. I did all the things. I was in all the plays. So I would say it's, the acting, the being funny, singing. I mean,
yes. I'm grateful that you, not even at the bequest, at the begging of me and a couple other of your friends, you got to play a little cameo in A Nice Girl Like You. And I'm thrilled about that. But that is one thing that I was going to talk about too, is that to be able to tack the way that you did early on in your career, where you came out here obviously to write and produce, but also to act, and to have the ego, in the best sense of the word, to not only go where the work was, but to understand that storytelling is the thing, and this is how I do it, and I do it really well.
Yeah.
So I always consider you a producer, writer, actress, but I know you are known as a producer.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you. Appreciate that.
But I really can't wait till you can act your balls off.
I know. I know. We often talk about that. I mean, I did have a great time in Nice Girl, and you have to be able to feed your soul in different ways and not feel guilty because of it. Well, I should only be doing this. I should only be doing that. It was also like what Isaac said on his time is, it was so poignant what he said about his teacher, or guidance counselor or teacher in school saying,
Mhm.
you're good at all these things, pick one. So that's what my family always did. I know they have the best interest in me, but it was always, oh, you don't want to be an actress. No one's going to take that seriously. You don't want to do that. That's not a real job.
Yeah.
So right away, I want to please everybody around me, right? So I want everyone to be proud of what I do. So,
Right.
every job I took over the years, even in my 20s, it's like if I took the job at the bank, I was the branch manager in 3 years, like in my early 20s. So, because I had to, whatever I was going to do, I was going to do the best at it, and had to get the top job because I'd rather, not have to answer to all these people. Let them answer to me,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I also think acting is the hardest in that it's so not up to you whether you work or not. I mean, there's a way as an actor that I participate in my own career, whether it's staying in class or working on friends' short films or doing other things like writing and
So good
producing.
like that. Yeah.
But there is something to be said for personalities like ours.
Yeah.
It's very hard when you're a control freak and you're good at certain things to have hands off on the
Right.
thing that you really want. So,
Yeah, it's true.
yeah. Anyway, I totally miscounted. We did 5 questions. 3 was actually 4. I know. I was showing off for no reason.
I just talk fast. We didn't realize.
What else is new, right? You know that about me.
It's like our lunches together for, I only have an hour, 4 hours later.
I know, right?
Those are my
And
favorite lunches.
I know, aren't they the best? Oh, I miss
We
our
have
lunch.
the art Christian of being tangential Trudies together. So if anyone else were to see our conversations, it's just this like centrifugal force of 10 conversations. And we get to all of them. Just not linear.
Super
please.
nonlinear.
Yeah, super nonlinear. Thank you. So anyway, that was that. I hope our listeners have gotten a taste of just how exquisite and amazing you are. But let's dive into what we talk about as being the creative process, however you define it. What inspires you? What stories, not in a broad way that we've talked about in the intro, but why does something resonate with Jina Panebianco?
It's interesting. It's a great question because it can really, I wouldn't even define it as a specific genre. It's per se. It's just, there has to be a character for me that has a lot of layers of things going on and always something that I can tap into that resonates with me as a human being, so it could be someone who's struggled in their life, personally, and trying to find themselves, and whatever that is, that could resonate with me. It could be someone who had love and lost love, like we all have, and say, oh God, I remember what that feels like. I want to see that journey. Who's this person? So things that are written really well. I read a lot of scripts, and you can just tell that sometimes people have ideas and they just spew them out, and then you're reading something and thinking, oh God, I wanted this to be good, but there's it's just rushed. It's not together. So those stories are hard to find. But I always know when I do find them, it's something like when I'm reading in my mind, I can play out the story in my head. And when I see the characters playing out in my head, I usually know I've connected with it. It's something I want to do.
Yeah.
Reading a lot of books right now. So, books, I think having an IP, turning those into films are great because you've got an audience who's read the book. Books are great to adapt because you can stay true to the characters, but also deviate from it a bit to make maybe a scenario more interesting,
Sure.
So it's kind of,
what's you tend to your dream project tends to be the things that you're working on right now. but do you and I know there's certain things and certain projects in various stages of production that we can't talk about. Right. And I'm sensitive to that. But I feel, especially because it's finally being released and I scroll like you on demand, all platforms, July 17th. Was such a labor of love for you in so many ways. First of all, you talk about a script. I remember you giving me this script and I had laugh out loud moments, which is so rare. So rare. It was such a beautifully crafted script and better idea. So I completely understand why you wanted to do the film. But what I'd love you to talk about, and we will promote the heck out of it, and I'm so proud of it. But, it started as a different thing. It started with the lead character being a different age. It started with so many different things. And so to talk about that process of getting the picture made, I think would be so fascinating for our listeners.
Yeah. So Mindy knows best as anybody how long it took to get this off the ground. So, I was dealing on a project. I had connected a director, a very dear friend of mine, with Nicholas Bogner and Melanie Green over at their agency, Affirmative, for representation for him as a director. And they saw his film. And we just got to talking about the kind of material that I like, what I'd be looking for. And about a month later, Nicholas reached out and said, now that I've gotten to know you, I know your humor, I know your style. I think you're going to love this. I mean, I read that script immediately. And then I went back and read the book. And when I read the script again, I thought, what a great effing adaptation from a book that really is a lot more about different vignettes and storylines to hone it in to this script about this girl, or this woman at the time, older, and these friends. So I became obsessed with it right away. And Mindy knew about it right away because I think
when I became obsessed with it.
Yeah, she became obsessed with it. And it also had many iterations. I had another partner at the time, and she was going to direct it.
Right.
And I think at that time, for where we were, it would have been great. But
it would have been a different movie, though.
It would have been a much different movie. It would just, everything has its time. And if there's something that I've learned for everybody to know in this business is you can't put the circle in the square. I've done it. And it never works. And it's always bad, real bad. But if you really just let something breathe and have its time and know that this is a great project, but let me move over here because I might be missing something over here. Yeah. So as Mindy knows, that wasn't the right time. And Wes, who is one of my favorite people in the world as well, Mindy knows him, Wes, my business partner at the time and now a partner in our current company. He was just so great. He was so understanding about saying, we've already spent a little bit of this money, but now we're going to hold off, and here's why. And he was always just super supportive. So we let it sit for several years, always with the intention. I mean, Mindy and I would talk, and it was always, you're doing Priscilla. I'm definitely doing Priscilla. And there was like no question in my mind from the minute she read it.
Until, yeah. Which is important to talk about. I mean, I have to say, by the time it finally gets into, okay, this is where we're going to go. So the woman is going to be a young woman.
Okay.
It kind of did change the dynamic of the script and these relationships with people. Sure. And very often, I have been the victim of this many times. Very often when you find the lead's representation wants to then load the movie with they're seeing commission signs. They're seeing work for their actors that they represent. So, I have to say, Jeana fought for me is sort of like a real understatement. Having said that, what I so appreciated in your not only belief in me, but belief in the original story and relationships is no one denied, including our crew, the immediate chemistry we all have. Lucy,
very important.
Jackie, me, and Aether. Yeah. I mean, it works. It works really well, I think.
It works. Christian, I can't wait for you to see the movie because
it's
really great for men and women, older, younger. I think, to Mindy's point about even though we ended up skewing for the lead of Lucy, and she's adorable and wonderful. We adore her.
Hale, bravo.
Lucy Hale, we love you. But she just was so gracious. I mean, wasn't she just? She just
every
was
single
open
day.
Every single day, even when she was sick that time, she had to go to the doctor or whatever. No one even knew. She just was she just was adorable. And honestly, I can say, going with that choice, 100% right choice to do. Now, with that said, as Mindy's saying, there were the other people that came in and had their other ideas for characters, specifically Priscilla. But there was absolutely no way that was not happening with Mindy. And what I always said is it goes beyond, it's not even a friendship thing. It's the person that has the talent that is absolutely right for this. I wouldn't, people who know me, I'm not hiring friends just because I like them. They have to be qualified in some way to do what they can do.
I had to audition.
And she had to audition.
That was quote
hers
unquote
for
given
4
to me,
years, you know.
right? So, I mean, I do think, and I've heard this from many of my friends, of us all having to do it. Listen,
Yeah.
I know that I'm Priscilla. You know I'm Priscilla. Let me show you guys that I'm
Mhm.
Priscilla. You know, so it was, well, you know, heart on the heart.
I
My
know it was.
mind and my actor cap was like, let's go.
This is
Come
part of it, yeah.
on.
You know, I have to
Yeah.
tell you, and Mindy and I, we've since talked this through, you know, in length, but I mean, my heart hurt so much because I knew that, you know, it's tough to have to get out there and go, you know, I've been doing this for so long and I have to prove this to you. Okay, sure, whatever.
Right.
But it honestly, it pissed me off. But I had other people that I had layers of and things that I had to answer to
You
and
bet.
for, but it still was not going to deter me from, you know, that was going to be Mindy's. And, you know, it was hard for she and I in those moments. And everyone who listens to this will know you are going to have moments if you in a position of authority, the ability to, you know, create and bring people together, you're going to have to really determine, do you fight for someone and why? And if you believe
Right.
it, you have to.
Which
You know,
leads me to I know we can't talk in details or personalities, and we shan't, but even in the current project that you're working on, you know, you are working with a few other producers, and how do you compromise on a talent choice that may have not been your first choice, or a crew member, a vital crew, well,
yeah,
crew member is vital, but you know, a DP,
yeah,
you know, a head of grip and dolly, you know, someone that's really going to make
yeah,
or break. How
yeah.
do you negotiate what's important to you and what's not?
Yeah, that's a great question because we, you know, as producers, when you're someone who is fully immersed in the entire process from beginning to end, you have to pick and choose your battles.
Right.
And that's something that I feel like I've had to learn, but I feel innately it's always just been in me to say, okay, I can appease this person by this, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get this, and I'll
Right.
just going to put that little check mark. But yeah, it's definitely, look, on projects like this one that we had to shut down.
Mhm.
You know, it's filled with lots of amazing actors and
Yeah, of
A-list actors, and they all have their stuff that they come with and their needs and everything. And
course.
so you have to balance. You know, so let's just say there's an actor that you might not have in your head, certainly in my head, it had that.
Mhm.
I don't know if I envision that as my first, but wouldn't it be great to see them challenge themselves and do it? You know,
Mm.
okay, so
Right.
let me go into that mindset instead and come from a positive place to
Right.
say, okay, that's not in my mind, but maybe.
Well, also
Um,
one of the biggest things people, you know, have asked me about producer, right, is that I said you have to have an ego
mm,
bigger than the world, and then not an ego, and then an ego again, because basically you're at the helm until
right,
production, and then you hand it over to a director,
Mhm.
right,
and then after he or she is finished, you take it back,
Yeah.
right.
and you now have to put it together. So it's one of those, I'm at the helm. I'm not at the helm. I'm at the helm. And a lot of people either are doing it
Mhm.
or don't understand that dance. It's
Yeah.
really challenging.
Yeah.
It's a really good point because I'll share something that, and it took me a while to honestly come to grips with. But I remember my first few movies in television, and I worked really hard. Um, and I mean, I put in a lot of work, and I knew that that work meant that the film was happening.
Mm.
But at the end, it's true. Like the creative, let's say the directors certainly get to say, "My movie. Oh, I made my movie. My movie." Um, and I thought, but it's my movie. It's our movie, right? But
Right.
Yeah.
so that's definitely a hard thing to swallow. I've always been the type that I embrace everything as a we, you know, and as much as I can
Yes,
when
you
I
do.
know that someone needs that. Yeah, it's like we're doing this. Even in my current, you know, film now, though all the producers, you know, we all bring something different to the table.
Yeah.
Even if I know I'm talking to my company and my investors who are doing this, you know, I'll always say, well, you know, or, you know, hey, you know, Rob and I discussed this and we feel,
Right.
because I just think it's just, I just, I'm not going to come from that place. You know, if I do that, then I expect that you do that as well. And then
Yeah.
maybe if, you know, as Maya Angelou always says, when you know better, you do better. So if I can teach someone, you know, a little way just to say, you can be inclusive. Everyone gets that you are special. We got it.
Yes.
But, you know, it's okay. Everything rises and sets mostly around you. But there are a few other people here. that we would also like to have
Boy,
some
does
light
that
shining
resonate
on
with
us.
Christian, being the producer that he is. I've seen him do that dance as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
You have
you
to.
know, you have to. And here's the thing is someday, there comes the point where, now like how Mindy's taking the time and people get to know you and they understand the full scope of what you do. And you are in the background a lot of the time. But that's okay. You're getting something incredible done. And people that are the ones that are tight knit and know how a movie's made, they get it.
They get it. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very much
Yeah.
true. I'm going to take a little break, ladies, give us a chance to catch our breath and do a little business for our listeners and our viewers. Just let everyone know that once again, lots of information about Jeana is available on our website, mondayswithmindy.com. There are links to subscribe to our podcast on every major podcast platform, as well as on YouTube if you would like to actually watch the show as opposed to just listen to it. There's a section there you can leave comments. You can give us a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing and hearing. And there's a little bell now. If you want to tap that, you'll be notified whenever a new episode releases. That is every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So again, if you're interested in a little bit more about the show, about either Mindy or myself, want to shoot us an email, get in touch with us, or learn more about our guest, Jeana, all that information will be on mondayswithmindy.com, including show notes and sort of everything else we talked about. And now that being said, we have a very special sponsor this week, and we're very excited about it. It's an honorary sponsor for Mondays with Mindy, and that honorary sponsor is the new film brought to you by Callywood Pictures and Vertical Entertainment, starring Lucy Hale, Jackie Cruz, and our very own Mindy Cohn. It's called A Nice Girl Like You. It will be released Friday, July 17th. It will be available on Apple TV, Amazon, and pretty much every major on-demand video streaming service. More information will be on mondayswithmindy.com, so you guys can connect there if you're having trouble finding it, or you just want a direct link. We'll add it up in the show notes so that you can check it out. Again, that's July 17th. It's a Friday. The new movie starring Mindy Cohn, Lucy Hale, and Jackie Cruz called A Nice Girl Like You.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Switched around a
Thank
little.
you.
Love it. That was
Thanks,
great.
thanks, my love bug. That was so awesome. You know what I'd like to kind of just dive into for a couple minutes, G, if you
Yeah.
feel comfortable doing it. I am always really careful about keeping personal lives of our guests private and let them do their thing. But you and I have bonded over being women of a certain age, I being older than Jeana, that,
Slightly.
yeah, that, thank you, that have taken risks. For me, it's been to stand in my actressdom and claim it. And this is the life I've chosen, and it's not always
Right.
peaches, and sometimes work is not up to me. And you as a producer have shown me, it makes me very emotional to walk away from something where there is a very generous paycheck, and but you are not fulfilled as a storyteller,
Mm-hmm.
and your voice is being dimmed by either an ego or a direction the company is taking that isn't really what it was started out to do. Having said that, to be able to leave that and that
Yeah.
security and not only start something new, but start something that is you're trying to change people's lives by telling stories, impact them emotionally, psychologically, and move away from things that are entertainment, yes, but not that. Do you want to speak to that at all without sort of asking you? I don't want to ask you direct questions because I want you to
Thank
share what you
you.
want to share about it. But it
Yeah,
really is like a TED Talk, G.
Yeah,
What you've been
yeah.
through the last 2 years.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Yeah, I don't mind talking about it, and because it's part of who I am. I loved the reason I started it and wanted to do it. And it's also shaped me to how I am now, that I couldn't be here now with Callywood Pictures and all these great things happening if that didn't happen. So, yeah, I mean, I'm co-founder of an OTT platform, but something along the way happened and happens. Sometimes you realize when you've got someone you have been so close with in a friendship and business for so many years, and you see things different. You have a
Yeah.
different point of view.
Yeah.
And I think it became, I was, as you said, my light was definitely being diminished. I felt that I didn't have a voice, and I had great idea. We used to talk about, Mindy and I, there's 5 lanes to a freeway. It doesn't mean you go down one lane, because you actually need to hit multiple
That's right.
different, walks of life, people, whatever that is. And so it was a very difficult time for me, because the 3 of us, we had all put a lot into that initially for the launch in 2017. And my brother came in as an early investor as well. And to see that you are taking a step back, and, because I would cry a lot at home all the time.
Yeah.
And I cried because I wanted so hard for things to work, and I cried out of my own fears. I was a new mom. I just had adopted an open adoption. My
Yes, Jack.
gorgeous little boy, little Jackie Bear, and so I
So
thought,
most people, G, would not walk away from,
right,
even if they were unhappy or not as satisfied as expected, would stay just out of, for the paycheck. You are a single mom with a
Yeah.
newborn,
Yeah.
and instead you absolutely jumped off the cliff. I mean, and it's,
I did, and it was a poignant moment, because I remember, I contemplated staying, and because there was so much at stake for me. It wasn't just the company, it was friendship, it was things, it was a
course.
history of years and years. But I knew that something had shifted within that dynamic, with egos, just situations that happened, that was just very difficult for me. And even though I can definitely take the back seat at times when I know certain things have to happen, I'm definitely not the person who's going to be in the back seat. I'll visit, but I can't stay there.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, I remember going to,
Which, by the way, I'm going to interrupt you, because to me, it's the definition of a creative. Someone who, if my voice is not being heard and I'm not storytelling the way that I want to, I physically am not going to be able to do it. Like, it's not about money. It's not about prestige. It's not about ego. It's literally like, I'm not going to be happy doing what I'm meant to be doing on this planet.
Yeah.
So,
right. Yeah.
it's huge.
It's true. And I remember calling my therapist. We all have one of those. And I said to her, this is what I'm thinking. And she said, wow, I can't really. And I said, yeah, is that bad? Is it? And she said, no, that's amazing. She said, jump. And, like the net will appear, as they say, just do it. Because, quite honestly, Jeana, you don't want to hear yourself keep, complaining about it or crying over it or wondering why things couldn't be different. That's not you. Just move, just go forward. And so I thought, what can I do if I were to leave, and, with my son. And so, I had to regroup and go back to, Wes, who is a dear friend for years, a business partner. And
he was ready.
And he was ready. And when I remember I went to him in August of that year and said, that's why everything happened so quickly, because I went to him in early August, and I said, here's the thing. I loved Nice Girl Like You. I know we had it sitting for a long time. The money was always in the bank because we were always going to make it. So everything was there. And I said, how do you feel about getting it back off the ground? He said, yeah, let's do it. And now Wes, just so you know, he's a financial risk management advisor, very successful. This film is not his world, except in a lot of the finance sense, but we've partnered quite a few times. And so to get that positive feedback from him, and he knew a lot of things that were going on, and he said, Jeana, I couldn't be happier for you. This is
right.
like your
he also
destiny.
believed in your ability, as we were talking about at the beginning of our conversation, that you have, which is incredibly rare. He sees a good investment, he's a good guy.
So that's the story. So once that happened, we just moved quickly. And I said to him, look, I'm going to try to get this off the ground. And, September, October time. Let's just see what happens.
Record
All I
time.
can do is just try.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so we did.
Which is also always the thing, right, Christian? This is like years and years and years of Jeana and I talking about it and her putting it on the shelf and taking it down and putting it. And then when it's like a yes, it was
goes.
like a bullet train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like,
what I love about
3 months
entertainment.
later.
Some things sit there forever, and you're like, "Is this ever going to happen?" And then when it does, it
it's
moves.
like when Robert Zemeckis talks about Forrest Gump. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's a great story. What an original!" No, it's been like how many years? And he's Robert Zemeckis, for Christ's sake. How many, like 15 years? People are like, "What the this?" Some guy who chases a leaf and talks about shrimp.
Well, I have to say, it has always been my motto. I have not hit a year where I don't believe what I'm saying. And when I hit that year, I think we'll all mourn it terribly. But for now, I do think the best is yet to come. It's not only a pithy thing to say, but that I walk and talk it. And even in times of, dissatisfaction and frustration, I have to say that I am so excited that I have a front row seat to the best is yet to come for you, Jeana.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am so excited and will be hanging on ever so tightly to those coattails. Thanks for playing.
I have one strip with your name already on it. Don't you just sit your right there.
Oh my God. Anyway, I am so excited for you. I feel that with the finally, the release of Nice Girl Like You and what will be, I know, an amazing second film coming out of Callywood. I mean, just being one day on the set and seeing the characters and reading the script, it is a home run. I predict. I'm just so excited. Thank you so much for being a part of our Mondays with Mindy.
This was great, you guys. And I just want to give a shout out to my amazing partners, John, Mike, and Wes, who with Callywood, and their support could not be doing it. They give me the freedom to, make the choices, and they have faith in me to move forward, which is incredible.
Well, and they have very good taste, I have to say.
I mean, look, hello.
Exactly. Hello, also just the projects you're starting to manifest and create and gather, it does a lot for them. Also. Yeah. So I feel very happy for you.
Thank you. I do too. We need to talk about our next. In
the meantime, it's just full court press on A Nice Girl Like You.
I love it. I'm so excited for everybody to see this movie. It's so adorable and charming. And I'm going to tell you, Mindy, because she won't say it, she is one of the very best things in the movie. Every time someone sees this movie, they say, and Mindy made me laugh my ass off. She is so funny.
I'm so excited.
And she improvised so much, and we have so much of that. The one I'm talking about with you and Lucy sitting on the bench. I mean,
I do. It makes me laugh just thinking about it.
Just know that was not scripted. When you hear them on the bench in the rain with the umbrella, that's all Mindy.
That's amazing. I'm excited to see it myself.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I feel so blessed. Thank you, Christian. So nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you. Thank you for joining us and sharing. Yes, absolutely. Sometime soon, I hope.
Yeah. When we can sit closer than 6 feet or a camera apart.
Exactly. All right, ladies and
good
gentlemen.
Good luck with the show. You guys are doing a killer job.
Thank you.
Really, you're such a great interviewer, and you're so great, Christian, as well. And your energies together, it's great. I'm happy for you guys.
Thank you for the feedback. Appreciate that.
Welcome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is our very special guest, Jeana, checking out her film on the 17th. Again, we'll have some more information on the website, links in the show notes. You can learn more about her, more about the projects that she's going to be releasing in the near future, not just Nice Girl Like You, but check out the website, check out Jeana, learn more about her. And once again, thank you very much for being on our show. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.
We'll see you later. Take care.
I'll talk to you later, G. And that was Jina Panebianco.
Pretty amazing. She's so relatable. I wasn't expecting that. It caught me off guard in a really, really great way.
Well, what about, you being the producer that you are, it's not many times producers gab the way that she did, in my opinion.
Agreed. Yeah, I like producers in large part, at least in my experience in the entertainment business, tend to kind of fall behind the scenes. It's generally the role, even though they're very much a big player in everything that's in front of the camera, that's happening on all sides. I like that she kind of lifted up the kimono a little bit and revealed a little behind the scenes, the process, the magic that goes into the filmmaking process, that a lot of people don't really know, that you could get funding for a film that sits in a canister for years. And it's only when life kind of taps you on the shoulder and reminds you that you need to be directed in that way. And that's, kind of amazing that she didn't know the opportunity was 100% there, but she went after it anyway and said, this isn't working. This is better. Let's go for it. And
this is how much I believe in Jina Panebianco, is that I think people will listen to this podcast years from now after Jeana has accepted one of many of her Oscars for Best Picture. It's not going to be a nice girl like you, okay?
Right.
Let's not get it twisted. But the project she is now involved in, I mean, she's at a level that she should be in. It's very exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to be... I think that name is going to be, resonating in all of our ears for many, many years to come, which I'm very excited to see where she goes and how she takes this journey. It's pretty awesome. And hopefully you'll be along for the ride for most of that too.
I will beg, borrow, steal.
Well, this was another awesome conversation, Mindy. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you to our audience for joining us. Again, if I haven't told you enough times, mondayswithmindy.com pretty much has everything you could possibly need. Join us next week. We're excited to be back with you once again, where we will be joined by another one of Mindy's co-stars from the upcoming film that we just talked about. So hopefully you can join us for that, and we will see you then. Bye, everybody.